This is a prepaid collect call from
Aaron. My whole body's shaking right now.
What happened?
Do you know my temper?
Aris, are you ready?
I am definitely ready for this marathon. Are you ready for this marathon?
Well, you know, it's definitely going to be a killer time.
Where is our dad joke tracker? We need to build a dad joke tracker for our episodes for you.
Well, you know, I don't know if that list of dad jokes is going to be as high as Aaron Hernandez's kill count, but we'll do the tally at the end. Either way, guys, so we are here officially to break down this Aaron Hernandez documentary that just came out on Netflix. We're going to be doing episode 1. So this episode strictly dedicated. Episode 1 of the Killer Within, the Aaron Hernandez story. So if you've been following this, obviously this was one of the bigger stories of last decade. Kind of came out of left field. And it's interesting watching this first episode because you get some real revelations about kind of like what led into a guy who was a multi-million-dollar athlete just out there killing people in his off time, apparently. What were some of like the bigger shocking things that caught you from this episode, Aris?
So one of the big things is like delving into it. So this happened, 2013 or so? So we were just out of high school. This was before I really got into following storylines in the NFL, following, the NFL as a whole. I was still kind of just stuck in, hey, just watch the Chargers, just follow Charger storylines. So I remember hearing about it, but delving into these details of his past, his current state of being, all the crazy stuff surrounding it. I knew some of the details, but I didn't know Lloyd was so connected. The guy that he killed was so connected to his family. I thought it was just a family friend. I didn't know it was his fiance's sister's boyfriend. I thought it was just a family friend or acquaintance that they met down the road or something like that. So just getting into it, diving into it a little bit further, it has been pretty mind-blowing for myself.
When Odin Lloyd's body first got discovered by some random jogger, it struck me because clearly Aaron Hernandez was not a rational thinker because one, the body was not that far away from his home.
Yeah, it was a half mile?
Yeah, and he didn't make any effort to dispose of it, which just, it strikes me because it's was he not thinking? Did he just want to flee the scene? As we would find out, this might not potentially have been his first murder, so he had experience with it.
Yeah, and it seems like this one and getting into the next one, I kind of watched ahead, so I kind of know a little bit of the spoilers of the big reveal at the end of the episode. But it seems like he halfway thought, because he tried to hide an SUV. He tried to delete some footage from his security cameras, but it's just half-ass covering it up, I guess you could say, because there's half of the video evidence of him in his house with a blob they were trying to say was a gun.
Yeah.
But, it's still one of those early security cameras where you can't really make it out, but it's so yeah, he saw that blob, him carrying it next to his hoodie pocket where it's still those early, before the clear picture security cameras. So it's still a little grainy. So you just see that blob, but it's the inside of his house was still recording, but he deleted just the outside. So it's he thought about it, but didn't fully know how to cover it up or hide it. So yeah, it's just pretty wild what his brain was thinking at that time, I bet.
Yeah, I didn't know how implicated his fiance or girlfriend was necessarily going to be in that situation. They have her potentially trying to cover up evidence for him.
Oh, there's one point where she just hangs up on him in prison where she's just I'm totally fed up with you for today, and just hangs up on him. It probably ripped her apart too as well.
Well, how do you react when you find out your fiance's just out there killing people? What was really gross about this, because I have a better appreciation for the Patriots and a less savory thought about kind of their fan base in this situation. So I just was disgusted when people at the court hearings wearing his jerseys and
oh, yelling, I love you outside of the courthouse.
I love you. And it's do you not know what this guy is on trial for right now? I understand about giving people the benefit of the doubt, but come on, guys. We got to at least let the evidence play out. You can't just be letting your bias seep into it when a guy's on trial for something so serious. And what I meant about it, the Patriots, so we had stuff like the jersey exchange, which it's at least the Patriots kind of stepped up in this situation. If I recall right, I don't know if they really got into how the Patriots reacted from a football operations standpoint. I'm pretty sure that they didn't even let it play out. They pretty much cut him immediately.
Yeah, they cut him immediately, and I believe they told the players just total media blackout. Like if they ask you a question about this, just say, we can't comment on an open investigation, and just next question. Because they even have a snippet of like Tebow, who was a college teammate of him, where they're asking him, questions about Hernandez. How was he doing with it? Did it take him by surprise? And he goes, I know where you just have to answer that, or ask that question, but we were told not to say anything, so I'm going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, Tim Tebow, what a face to bring out there. So, I mean, literally his college and his professional teammate at one point, and this is just all going on in the background. It's like, I don't think Tim's prayers were good enough to pray the, mass murderer away. Did Aaron have to pray something else away, though, is like one of the bigger questions brought up in the documentary. So his high school quarterback.
Oh, yeah, his best friend growing up.
Great teammate. They just love horse playing and everything. Well, he had a secret revelation to bring out there to the public about Aaron Hernandez, which I was not expecting for them to do in the first episode of the series. So I always kind of heard the murmurs, like right around his death, of the allegations that he was questioning his sexuality or kind of leaned like a certain way. I never really bought into it because I thought, this is just people trying to capitalize on the guy's name, just take advantage of the situation to get a little bit more headway or attribute motive. But it was odd when you actually do the story research and figure out when that allegation came out and originally on radio openly, he did kill himself shortly thereafter. And you could tell it's a big focus of this particular documentary that they're going to bring to the forefront to kind of link to why this happened, why the murders happened. Did you buy that? What'd you think of his teammate and his openness to come out with this?
Yeah, it seemed a little heavy-handed in this episode because they even had a former Patriots offensive lineman who never played with Hernandez, but came out after he retired as gay. He was talking about all the stuff you would do to hide the fact that if you were gay or questioning your sexuality. So he had no link to this story whatsoever. They just brought him in as a I guess you could say
like a special consultant, basically.
Yeah, exactly. But it seemed like the friend was just bearing on him, like maybe he was like a scorned lover, or just going to town on Hernandez because he couldn't really defend himself. So it seemed like he was kind of scoring a little bit about what had happened.
Well, the thing about it is we'll never really know what happened because the fact of the matter is one party's dead.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, clearly there's nothing wrong with if he's gay or not. That's not a big deal. I mean, you could tell, though, it was not something that was very looked on in a good light in his household in particular.
With some of the words that they were throwing around. I'm not going to say it on this podcast, but they were throwing around that, the F word. They were just throwing it around willy-nilly. And I think what the best friend said, that the dad would slap that out of you if you were gay.
No, I mean, you listen to that phone conversation between his mom and himself, like from prison, and they were just going at it like you ever hear like when people are trying to overcompensate for like something that they're hiding by trying to go completely the 180 degrees the opposite way. That's what it felt like when I was listening to that phone conversation between him and his mom when he was just degrading like some of the other inmates who did kind of swing that way. Well, secretly, who knows? Maybe that was a big part of his lifestyle. Again, it's just hard to really dig at someone who's already in the grave, because if he wasn't, it's kind of disturbing that his friend or someone that claims to be a very good friend is, trying to dig up
on him.
Yeah, trying to dig up someone's grave and just add this to the list of issues that may have been plaguing this guy's life. They didn't really delve too far into CTE. So they did
I think the CTE is coming in like the third episode, because I remember them saying that, they did an inspection on his brain, and his brain was that of like a 80-year-old person with Alzheimer's or something like that. So I know it's coming. It's not in this episode. So that shoe's going to drop at some point.
Yeah. I mean, there were some moments of levity in a show about serial killers that I should mention, at least as highlights on my end. So one, we found out that Aaron Hernandez, in addition to being an excellent football player, in addition to being a serial murderer, was also a big fan of J.K. Rowling's, apparently.
Harry Potter's.
Really loved The Prisoner of Azkaban, I guess. The other one I got to say, you good there?
I'm good. Another tally.
Add that to the tally. The other moment, too, was the poor New England Patriots fan with the last name Hernandez. It's like, I can't even wear my custom jersey that says Hernandez anymore. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, he can't even do, like, Hernandez with a random number anymore. And, like, the Patriots can never draft another player named Hernandez either.
Oh, yeah, no, that's just a completely tainted thing that we're kind of joking around in it with our chat. It's like, there's enough Martinez's where I could kind of get away with it. But if there's a Blakeney that's out on a murdering spree, you are
Oh yeah, I'm screwed. Like I
You
have,
just
I have
gotta
a
change your
custom
name.
jersey. Yeah, I got a custom jersey that my uncle bought me from Korea when he was stationed out there. There's no team logos on it. It's just a blue baseball jersey with my last name on it. And if something happens where a baseball player named Eric or named Blakeney, just goes out and kills 90 people, I have to burn that thing.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, oh, you support that guy? Look at you, Aris.
I'm gonna
What
have to get my tattoo covered up on my last name on my arm. I'm gonna have to get that covered up. Like,
Yeah, man. Another good one too is, of course, it's always fun whenever you see like a NFL player's high school tape. Similarly, we've seen like other players like a Derrick Henry or Julio Jones when their high school tape comes out. It's amazing. But yeah, Aaron was a big boy and he was wrecking guys. What are some of the highlights for you?
he looked exactly the same.
That's
Like
true.
he just looked like he just got a little bit taller and a little bit more defined, but he looked exactly the same as he did at 23 when he was getting taken out of his house than when he did his junior or senior year, whatever that film was from in high school. He looked exactly the same. He didn't change it. It didn't, he developed a little bit more facial features, develop like a beard or something like that. He had his same exact look.
Well, apparently, according to that former offensive lineman for the Patriots, he did have a great beard.
I don't know, because he had that like scraggly beard and
No. Beard.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But no, like the thing that was kind of a funny moment for me was we're in this time now where social media trends take over. Whatever fad of the moment is, everybody's trying to do that. We were kind of like the start of that with like planking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't really remember this Hernandezing thing that the documentary tried to pull off, where you have the hands underneath your shirt behind your back. I don't really remember that quote unquote trend that they were saying was developing throughout the country.
Yeah, I think that just falls into like the documentary trying to infuse their own elements of exaggeration to this. I mean, it's a Netflix production. We have to expect there's going to be a little bit of embellishment, and they're going to try and fit the motive best to whatever they want to do. Because again, Aaron's not here to say anything back.
Yeah.
So with that said, I don't know. I guess we could wrap a bow on this and say it was an interesting episode. There's 2 more to go. We're going to recap them all for you guys. We'll be back again. I don't know. We'll probably even do another one this week. We know you guys are binge watchers, so go binge the series.
You probably already finished all 3 episodes.
Exactly. Go binge the series. We'll hold off on binging the review so you guys have a little bit of time, because I think my rule of thumb is for TV shows, you got to like a week or so, because like we all have access to this. We all have Netflix, right? I mean, I might cut Netflix, but that's a story for another day. Disney Plus is looking pretty good these days. Either way.
Some good stuff.
We'll be back. Look at episode 2. Apparently, he's going to delve a little bit more into his college years. So a lot of juicy takes there. Tebow time again, I guess.
Tebow.
All right, guys. We'll see you back with the next episode.